Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So you guys, I was going to pre-record this video, but I am having something going on with something's going on with my phone or my computer or whatever. So for some reason, I cannot get the video to upload. So if you come in and I don't see your comments or I don't answer, it's because I'm trying to stay focused on what I'm sharing with you guys. So what's up? My name's Nicole and I'm an addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015 and I'm currently on Suboxone, medically assisted treatment. I've been on Suboxone for 4 years and right now I'm working on tapering off. I went from 12 milligrams to 8 milligrams and I go back on August 15th and I hopefully will go down 2 more milligrams. So just so you know, that's where I'm at. I have been on Suboxone for 4 years. In those 4 years, I have not drank, drugged, popped pills, snorted, nothing. Just the only thing I do is take my medication as prescribed and that's it. So I had a new subscriber from Ireland request that I make this video. So that's what I'm going to do. And so he was asking me what my experience was when I first started out on Suboxone and how it has changed from then to now. And so, sorry, I'm going to share with you guys that experience. So, okay. When I first got put on Suboxone, I had just gotten out of rehab. And I had been out of rehab for about 3 days maybe. And I can remember because I had just gotten out of treatment and I wanted to get high. I was so afraid that I was going to relapse and lose my son. And so my husband had told me, hey, I went and got put on Suboxone. And I was like, you know, I need to look into that because I'm afraid. You know, I'm afraid I'm going to relapse. So I went to the doctor, made an appointment, and they gave me an assessment. And so that's when I started Suboxone. Now, the way the clinic is here where I live, your first week on Suboxone, they dose you. You have to come in every morning to get your dose. And so every morning I would go in and they would give me the little orange pill. And I started out on 8 milligrams, okay? Hey, lab girl. So that 8 milligrams that I first started out on, you guys, I felt like the first day I took it, I felt really tired. Okay, I didn't feel like, I know the difference between shooting Roxy's and shooting heroin and being on Suboxone. And to me, the two don't even compare. When I would shoot up opiates, you guys, the feeling I would be just, oh my gosh, so strong and so euphoric. And it would be like, the minute it would hit my bloodstream, this warm sensation would go all over my body. The way I felt when I first got on Suboxone was not even close to that. So when the first day I took it, like I said, it made me really tired. It made me just like kind of like lethargic and loopy. Now, I will say this, I was falling asleep because I was tired because it was knocking me out. Then the second day I went in, and that night when I was trying to sleep that first night, it was like I couldn't sleep, you guys. I was waking up every 30 minutes, popping up, and then I would fall right back to sleep. I could get to sleep, but I couldn't stay asleep for a long period of time. And that drove me nuts for about 6 months. I tried everything. I tried melatonin. I just tried so many things because I didn't want to get on a prescription sleep medication. After about the first 6 months, it ended up stopping and I started sleeping just fine. But at the beginning, sleep was really hard for me. Second day I went in and got my dose. Sat there, let it dissolve under my tongue for about 15 minutes, and I spit out the rest, right? Now, let me tell you something. I spit out the rest, you guys, because the medication, it gets into your bloodstream through underneath your tongue, right? Sublingually. So all that extra stuff, that's just filler and ingredients that binds it together. So I just spit that extra stuff out. Now the second day I was on it, I wasn't as tired. So I like went out. I actually went to work that day. I drove my car that day. And I was still just like a little bit, groggy, but not anything like it was the first day. Now, I will tell you this. The third day, I noticed that I was getting headaches. So I went in to see my doctor on the third day, and I was like, man, like I have this migraine, and it's just not going away. And that's when they told me, I could be having an allergic reaction to the naloxone in the medication. And so he told me to stay on it a little bit more and to let him know I'm still having those headaches. Well, eventually those headaches dissipated. I've been fine. So I didn't have to, so it wasn't the naloxone. So that was the third day. And then into my fourth day, like I felt like completely like a normal person again. Like I didn't feel like I was getting tired from the medication anymore. I didn't feel, I just felt regular. The medication helped me to feel normal. The main thing that I noticed with Suboxone that it really helped me with a lot, it helped me with cravings. And when I say cravings, I mean the thinking about opiates all the time. And it also helped me to not go out and act on those thoughts. Because I had this medication that I was taking, and it was almost like an oral fixation. Like, okay, I'm taking something, so I don't need to go out and get high. I don't need to go out and relapse. And that's the only way I can explain it to you, that it was so psychological for me. It was so psychological. And even today, being on Suboxone, it's a lot of psychological warfare for me, because a lot of the times, like when I first started taking it, I struggled with overtaking my medication because psychologically I thought, I need more. It'll make me feel better, right? But if you take more Suboxone, it doesn't do anything because Suboxone has a ceiling effect. Now, I'll tell you this. I've been watching a guy who snorts his Suboxone, and he says it makes him feel a feeling. And maybe that's because he's like snorting it. But sublingually taking Suboxone every single day, I do not feel any euphoria, I don't even get energy, nothing. And that's why, like, honestly, I think, man, I wish if I didn't have to go through withdrawal, I would never get off Suboxone. I would never get off of it because it helps me to stay sober, but me knowing that I need to taper, like I want to eventually be able to be free from it, that's the only thing that I think that if it didn't have the opiate in it that made you have withdrawal, then I think it would be a perfect medication because it's helped me with my overall, like, just when I first got put on Suboxone, I was in such a deep, dark place. I was so afraid I was going to lose my son. I wanted to die. I was depressed. I was hopeless. I hated myself. And I was beating myself up every day because I had lost custody of my son. So Suboxone really did save my life. It gave me an opportunity to change my thinking, change my behaviors, and start working on recovery on the inside. Being on Suboxone, and being on Suboxone and abusing it and using it to get high, that's still active addiction, okay? That's not what I want for me, okay? I don't want to change the way I feel. I don't want to get high anymore. I don't want to not be present in my family's life. I want to be a part of my family today. I want to be present with my son today. I want to be my mom's best friend again. I want to have my sisters back, right? I don't want to change the way I feel. I don't hate myself to the point where I have to get high anymore. And a lot of the reasons why I got high was because I wasn't happy, because I hated myself, because I was insecure, because I didn't love me. And so today I don't want to do that. You know, today I take my medication as prescribed by my doctor. And I work hard, you guys, on working on the inside, okay? I work hard on changing the way I think, the way I perceive life, okay? That changed my life. When I was in active addiction, I perceived everything as everyone was out to get me. Everyone was attacking me. You were the enemy, right? Now in my recovery, I don't see life like that. I see life as a huge opportunity to give back and to help others. I see other people that are hurting as just that, people that are hurting. But when I was in active addiction, my perception was so warped. And that's how it is for a lot of us when we're in active addiction. We perceive things so differently than what they really are. That's what addiction does to us. You know, living in recovery, you guys, and changing my behaviors has been one of the biggest things that I've had to do to stay sober. If I had continued living my life the way I did in active addiction, I would still be getting high today. If I continued living my life stealing, lying, cheating, being promiscuous, hating myself, you know, not having a relationship with God, just being an overall shitty person, then I would still be getting high right now while I was on Suboxone. I would be snorting my Suboxone or shooting Suboxone up trying to change the way I felt. Because that shame and guilt gets to be so heavy on you that you want to get relief. It's like, I can't take this anymore. Life sucks. I need relief. Well, I don't want relief from life anymore. You know, life sucks sometimes. It does. But I don't want to run away from my life anymore. I can stand up and look life right in the eyes and handle it. You know, and that's because I've changed the way I do life. I've changed the way everything in my life has changed, you guys. You know, and you have to do the same thing. If you want to get recovery, you have to change your life. You have to change every single thing. If nothing changes, then nothing's going to change. Okay? If you have tried to get sober over and over and over again the same way, and you're trying that same way again this time, guess what? That's not working. You need to try something different. Okay? If you have tried to do your recovery your own way, okay? If you have tried to taper off medically assisted treatment your own way and you keep failing, then guess what? Learn. I had to finally pocket my pride and realize that what I was doing was not working anymore. And I had to start taking suggestions from people who it was working for. Okay? The only thing I can tell you guys is that if you want to get sober and you're on medically assisted treatment and you don't consider yourself sober, because listen, I consider myself sober right now. All right, I've been working my ass off to do the next right thing one day at a time for 4 years, and it has taken me a lot of hard work. Okay, but some people, they don't think that about themselves when they're on Suboxone. Okay, and that's what I feel like that does, is that sets you back, because all you're thinking about is how you need to achieve this like level of righteousness because you've gotten off Suboxone. And even when you get off Suboxone, you might not feel good. And I've seen it happen time and time again where people have done absolutely nothing to change their lives. They sat on Suboxone for years, didn't do anything differently, then jumped off of it and relapsed and really struggled for a long time. And I'm not saying that to make fun of anybody or any shame, but I watch people that go in front of me and I learn from their mistakes. Okay, and that's what you guys have to start doing too, is learning from other people's experiences. So I don't want that to happen to me. So the time that I've been on Suboxone, I've been working my ass off to figure out, why is it that I want to get high and ruin my life? Why is it that I need to change the way I feel? Why is it that I feel so insecure and like I need to be a part of, right? And while I've been working on that, you know, I figured out so many things you guys, and that's been a huge experience, eye-opening for me. So that's what I want people that follow my channel to do, you guys. If you're in recovery and you're on medically assisted treatment, I want you to take this time while you're on medically assisted treatment and really focus on getting down and getting serious, getting to the causes and conditions of why you were self-medicating with drugs and alcohol. There's always a reason, okay? I promise you. That is your homework for tonight. I want all of you guys tonight when you go to sleep to ask yourself, why do I want to get high? Why do I keep doing this to myself? What is it about drugs that are so appealing to me that I'm willing to kill myself with them? Okay? I want you to think back to childhood. I want you to think back to freaking A. If you can remember when you were like 2 years old, stuff that happened, think about that. Okay? If it was, just start going through your mind and thinking and brainstorming. Why do I want to get high? You know, getting high is fun, you guys, at the beginning, but then it stops being fun and it becomes horrible. It becomes a necessity. If you're still in that period where you're getting high is fun for you, I'm going to pray that you get past that time and it gets and you start hitting reality soon. Because for me, it got to a point where it was no longer serving me. It was horrible. So really think about that. Think about why you're doing this to yourself. And then I want you guys to come back and comment under this video and tell me what it is. Why are you medicating with drugs and alcohol? I'll tell you why I did. Okay, I'll tell you why I did. When I was younger, for some reason, I was raised up by an amazing family, amazing parents. But for some reason, on the inside, I didn't feel like I was amazing. For some reason, I felt so much less than everybody else. And I carried that on my shoulder for a long time. And then when I got old enough to make my own decision, I thought, well, look at everybody else. They're smoking pot. Let me try that. When smoking pot didn't do it for me, I said, oh, well, they're snorting cocaine. Let me try that. And then that did it for me. And then I took pills, and those were even better. And then I took opiates, and those were even better, right? And those voices in my head that told me I was worthless and I'm not good enough and that I don't fit in, drugs and alcohol, those voices were no longer there. And I was the cock of the walk. I was the queen bee when I was high. You know, I was the center of attention. I was everything. And that's why I got high for a long time, because it helped me to feel better about myself. It helped me to think, hey, I'm actually finally feel like I'm good enough now. I finally feel like I'm a part of the family now. I feel like all the kids at school actually like me, and I'm pretty, and I'm skinny, and I fit in, right? Man, I got to tell you something. I hope my son never feels like that. I hope my baby never thinks that he's not good enough. You know, I can't blame my addiction on those feelings, but I'm going to tell you that was a perfect recipe for disaster for me, because I had these combinations of insecurity, low self-esteem, low self-worth, the perfect group of friends that were on drugs, and everything together was the perfect storm, you know? And I wish I had had that open line of communication with my parents to where I could have talked to them. You guys might judge me for what I talk to and share with my son, but I'm going to tell you one thing. My baby boy knows he can tell me anything, and he also knows about recovery from addiction. And I believe in educating children early on, because you guys, these kids are taking drugs to school at kindergarten, first grade, second grade. It's happening right now. So anyway, I'm going to go off on a tangent. This video was about my first week on Suboxone. So I hope that helps you guys. If you're, if you have any other questions, if you want to know my opinion on some things, if you just want to ask about how, you know, I feel now. Anything you want to know, please comment down below this video and I will answer every question you have. Shoot, I'll make a video. All you got to do is request it and I will make it. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'm going to go lay down, and I'll see you guys later.